The following content is rated MA negative. Viewing this content could be harmful to your mental health. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The VoT Network presents the Voices of Terminus Show with your hosts, Yarnilla, Lexer, and Joshua. And now, it's time for the VoT Debate Show.
Welcome everyone to the Voices of Terminus Pantheon Debate Show. First of its kind, newly introduced to the VoT. Something to spice things up. We've got Josh with us today. Hello, Josh.
Hey guys.
And we have Lex with us. And today's show is set up somewhat differently. And Lex already put out a link you can go to, and I'm going to start a timer basically in the next minute or so, where you guys can go to that link and vote who's going to be basically the proposition, who's going to be on the opposition, and who's going to moderate this show. And we're going to have a little debate on raiding. You guys in our community and on Twitter voted for this show, and this time around it went to raiding 40 man. Is that too much? And we're gonna have a little debate about it and see where this goes. And chat, you are welcome to join in on this debate by asking questions as well, putting out some points for me or for the moderator basically to bring forward to the guys on the debating teams, and we'll see how this goes. So we're going to start a timer starting now.
We've already got a couple votes in, and they're voting me as moderator.
Oh my word. And you got 3 minutes now to vote who's going to be on what, doing what, and then we will basically set up our scene to support this. So, yeah, this should be fun. And we're definitely going to have a lot more of these, I'm pretty sure, coming up in the future. And, yeah.
This one will be done a little rough, 'cause it's the first one, and we're trying to do it as impromptu as possible, so neither side has any preparation whatsoever.
No,
exactly. And even the moderator's not even going to be prepared.
No.
So we're still keeping the original format of what we normally do, which is basically just, you know, this is our topic, shoot, off we go. So we're still trying to stick to that format, but all in all, we're trying to do something new, get you guys involved and have some fun, and actually talk serious stuff about some of these topics, because they are interesting. They're interesting enough for a debate, and the great thing about this as well is you guys in chat get to vote.
Well, not even just in chat. I mean, think about this show for a minute. We have a lot of content creators out there who all do great work. Their shows get a lot of prep work, you know. Mm-hmm. This show gets a lot of prep work. I don't do any of it, but this is literally a show where viewers choose the topic, they choose who's on what side. We have no preparation except just wit. That's it.
Yeah. And
I mean, the beauty of this kind of system is you could take someone like me and put me on the pro side for paladins, like theoretically.
I know. That's the great thing. You can put people on the side where you know that they are absolutely, you know, against this or whatever, and you put them on the side that's actually in support of it, and now they've got to change their whole mock-up, their whole way of being, the whole approach to how they look at, you know, the topic at hand, which is going to be really, really fun. And then obviously having chat out there as well, getting involved with this is going to be a lot of fun. So you got 21
less than 30 seconds to go.
Let's
I'll
keep
put the link up there again.
So go to that link and, you know, vote.
Let's do this, guys.
And then
and you can't vote for multiple things.
You can or you can't.
You can. So I probably should have started with that, but what you do, fire me?
Right, so the timer has run down. So, Lex, do we have results?
We do.
Right, then shoot, let me know what we have.
The winner with 3 votes. Yarnilla 4. Josh against. And me as a moderator.
Okay, so Yarnilla 4.
Can you imagine that the viewers chose to shut me up.
Okay.
Can't have that whiny voice on for too long.
Let me get that set up. So we have that set up, and let's go move that into our show. And we're going to move over now, and basically Lex is obviously going to look at chat as well. Keep an eye on chat to help bring in some of your thoughts and questions about this.
Do you want me to ask you guys questions and have a chance to go back and forth?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
right.
So viewers out there, if you have any questions about this particular topic, which is rating 40-man too much, go ahead and put them in chat. I will get to them at some point.
Do we see those now or not?
If they pop up in chat, I'll see them.
So, normally as the debate goes, because obviously this is our first show, the proposition gets a 3-minute introduction, and then the opposition will get a 3-minute introduction. So obviously Lex doesn't have the controls over this because he's not, you know, streaming this out. But we'll figure something out for the future, whoever moderates this. So allow me 3 minutes to get you guys pumped as to why I am all for.
Let's listen for the dead.
So here we go. No, this is my time to talk now. Be quiet, please.
Let's listen for the dead air.
Please be quiet. You're wasting my time. This is my time to talk.
All right, start your timer. Let's go.
Okay, my time was already running. I've lost 10 seconds because of this twerp. Right.
Stop running your mouth.
40-man raiding builds community. It's, you know, it's a great massive event. It's a great way to get people together to go out and take on a huge challenge. It's a great way to get to know new people out there. Like I said, it's bonding, it's building, it's community driven, and it's also, you know, the biggest thing about it is it's a lot of fun, right? It's absolutely amazing. It was done in EverQuest, okay? Other games have tried and done this as well. You have World of Warcraft out there that have higher raids, you know, above and beyond. I mean, EverQuest had, I think, what was it, 60-man raids or something like that as well?
EverQuest had 70, I think it was 71 or 72 man.
72-man raids. And, you know, the opposition is going to tell you it can't be done due to technology. It can't be done because, you know, of the way graphics have evolved and our systems aren't quite there yet. That's all lies, right? It can be done, trust me, right? Technology grows, not just, you know, in the gaming industry on your hardware, so it can be done. Don't tell me anything different. Don't let anybody else out there tell you anything different. The opposition is going to try and lie and cheat its way to sway you against 40-man raiding. It can be done. It is going to be great. Let's make raiding great again. There we go.
I think you need to go get a bad spray tan. just saying.
That's so sad. Are you finished? Are you done?
I am done.
Clearly you are done. That's for sure. Sounds like you are after that opening speech. Was absolutely rubbish.
Right, so your time is running.
Right, so against 40-man raiding, definitely. If you want to see a huge disaster in any MMO, then hit 40-man raids. If we saw EverQuest 2, we saw great raiding from just 24 people, and it really worked. It harmonized things in the 6-man groups on each one, and it really allowed the developers to actually focus their attention to much better raiding at the end of the day and say, well, there's only going to be 24 people. We know what we're going to expect. boom, we can tailor these guys against. It's not going to be a Zerg fest where you're going to have people trying to stream and cram and, my God, what's happening to this one? What's happening to that one? Nobody knows what's happening. Nobody knows how to divvy up the loot at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a load of rubbish. So let's rather tailor these things down to what they should be, and whatever comes out of Jan's mouth is absolute rubbish. Don't listen to it. Thank you.
Yarn's got control of all the
yeah,
the
he's got all the little rubbish at the bottom over there.
So that's just a little bit skewed.
Sorry, but the moderator should be in control of that.
We'll work on that.
That's what they say. That's what they say in the opposition. That's what they say, because they're weak-minded. They have no clue. They can only go on the offensive. So don't listen to them. All right? Community matters.
Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to bring up for you guys to talk about, prep time. Is it something that is important, and how badly is it affected by a 40+ man raid? So we'll start with the proposition.
Okay, so we obviously have only a minute to respond to these. So I'm going to put my timer up. It's very important to organise raids and get the preparation done. Now, people are going to say 40 people, getting them together is going to be tough and everything. It's tough getting 24 people together. And at the end of the day, right, 24 or 40, it makes no difference. It makes absolutely no difference if you're prepping for 24 people or for 40 people, right? There's absolutely zero difference when it comes down to it. It's a lot of prep work as it is for the people that are, you know, getting the raids together. So punishing one guy or two people out of a 24-man raid, or punishing two people out of a 40-man raid, I'll take a 40-man raid any day of the week.
All right.
Okay.
Josh.
Yeah, I think it's way too much organization. I think that we've seen from many times on MMOs how people in the last minute will let teams down, and the more people you have, the more letdowns you're going to have at the end of the day. I just think that it's from a time perspective, trying to organize such a huge amount of people is just going to be a nightmare for any one person. And at the end of the day, you're going to have more no-shows over time than you are going to have raids happening. And that just spells disaster for a game in the long run. So have them more confined, have them more structured, smaller, more people get involved in that type of thing, and you're going to have a win.
Okay. So the next question here is from Texan. If 40-man creates community, what about the min-maxers that tend to kick people out of raids if they're also not min-maxers? Let's start with the opposition this time.
Right. So, min-maxers basically live in their own little bubbles. And ultimately, if you're going to have a 40-man raid, things will never get off the ground if you have min-maxers in charge, if you have these type of things. You would rather have smaller groups. We have one or two min-maxers in there, and you don't have people saying, well, I'm going to drop out at the end of the day. I don't want this going to be happening from a 40-man raid to something a little bit more controlled. So for me, min-maxers can destroy communities in that regard, and the more people you have, the more you're going to lose.
Okay. Yarn.
See, that's what the opposition will always say, right? The more you have, the more you have. Now, just because you've got a 40-man raid doesn't mean that everybody's going to be min-maxing, right? 40-man raids aren't just going to be the elitist guilds doing it. You're going to have a lot of people getting people together, and min-maxers are everywhere. And min-maxers that are in a smaller raid, like, you know, a group size or a raid size of 24, having 2 or 3 or even 4 min-maxers in there is more disruptive than having that kind of number inside a 40-man raid. You can cope with those kind of numbers, right? And the opposition will try and always prove you different. So, you know, it's just what they try and do, you know. They try and destroy what is great and what is good for the community. Min-maxing in general, yes, you know, it's a pain in the ass sometimes. It's not always great, but the numbers work in this case. It works for 40-man raids.
I'd like to respond to that.
We're gonna give the opposition a chance to rebuttal that, or do you want to not rebuttal?
I will rebut that.
Your time's running.
Okay.
All right. Well, my rebuttal basically is that, Jan, you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, that's weak. But nevertheless, min-maxers ultimately will form their own groups that will dominate any landscape when it comes to any MMO. Having 40-man raids is just going to mean more dominance in these raid spots and more control for them at the end of the day, and is going to basically turn away the casual players ultimately from raiding who want to do something. So it's just going to create more of a barrier ultimately, in my mind.
So
Okay.
I'd like to quickly respond to that as well.
Yep.
Right, so at the end of the day, the way I see it, with these having the option for 40-man raids, is a way to actually compete against the min-maxers, because we know there are going to be some out there, some forces out there that are going to try and have, or would have, you know, 40-man raiding groups to try and control and maintain everything in the world. But there's plenty of communities out there, plenty of guilds out there that are willing to go out of their way and, you know, create forces, raid forces that aren't all about this min-maxing. And the more people that do that, the better, the harder the competition is going to be for those so-called min-maxers, elitist, raid force, whatever you want to call them. So there'll be more competition out there, and there'll be more rebuttal for them to have to deal with. So at the end of the day, you know, the opposition again is just talking nonsense, as they always do, because that's, you know, they just don't know how to respond. It's that simple.
Okay. So the next topic, I'm going to say, what kind of economic impact? Would it be positive or negative with a 40-man raid? Yarn, let's start with you.
Well, obviously with a 40-man raid, you've obviously got a higher number of players within that group, within that community, you know, trying to go at these items, purchase these items with their DKP systems and whatnot. So there'll be an impact in the open market when it comes to these goods, because those goods would be shared amongst the 40-man raid force before they would actually hit the open market. So there would be a minor setback in that case at the beginning, but obviously later on down the road it will balance itself out again, like it always has. You know, it's always balanced out because everybody's got this, you know, they've got their gear, they've got their ults set up and everything, and you know, the more they understand the raids, the more easier it's going to be for them to get through it. So it's going to have a minor negative effect at the start, period.
Okay, Josh.
Right. I think that it will ultimately kill the game. Quite simply, I think that with higher numbers in a raid come more loot that has to drop off the mobs at the end of the day, which will mean you will get the economy basically being flooded a lot quicker with a lot more items, which will destabilize the economy of the game. So with this kind of a situation, I can just see disaster a lot sooner in my mind.
That's what the socialists opposition side always will try and tell you. You know, socialism doesn't work, okay?
Shut up, you Democrats.
God, here we go. Out of hand already. I need like a buzzer to shock people when they get out of line. Okay, another question from Texan. Wouldn't limited 40-man raiding in the open world for, say, world bosses build a greater community than, say, a 40-man raiding, which would be required for progression? Josh, let's start with you.
If I understand the question correctly, I would say that world bosses itself would be something that I think would be, for a 40-man raid, would be easier to go for rather than as for progression purposes. Ultimately, I think from a lower group to actually go into the raid, going towards bosses and progression ultimately is going to, I think, just be more of a, I think it'll be beneficial in terms of keeping the raid fresher and longer ultimately. 40-man zerging is going to become a thing in any type of situation, and it doesn't matter if it's boss or progression, it's just going to be so easy ultimately.
Time's up. Shush.
There we go.
All right, Jaren.
Right, see, again, the opposition is going to try and tell you again that it's going to be this, it's going to be that. It doesn't matter if it's world bosses or if you're going into an instance and, you know, taking on a named boss inside an instance. There's absolutely no difference. There's no difference if it's a 40-man world boss or a 40-man inside an instance that you're going at. So, you know, and it's set up for progression. It's still going to be the same thing. You know, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And again, the opposition tries and tells you something different. Yeah, it's nonsense. It's waffles. All right, it's waffles.
I'm not hearing talking. I'm not hearing anything about 40 versus smaller.
You still got a few more seconds, Yarn.
I'm fine.
Nope.
I've got nothing.
Okay.
I've got nothing to say to the opposition. Let the opposition run his mouth.
All right.
Nothing.
All right. Okay. Well, next, let's talk about the possible impacts that 40-man raiding might have on crafting. Yarn, we'll start with you.
So obviously, you know, having 40-man raids, all depending on how these raids obviously also are set up, is going to be good for crafters. All right, because there's going to be a lot more requests on the market to get these people sorted out, and you know, it's going to actually help crafting in the long run. Be it, you know, having crafters inside your raid force, helping people out, and obviously with those kind of numbers, with 40-man raids, you know, these forces are going to have to reach out to ultimately people outside of their communities to help get that gear sorted out. So it's definitely going to help the economy, and it's going to help crafting for sure, 100%.
Okay, Josh.
Yeah, for me, again, it falls down to the economy and how that is going to be balanced at the end of the day. I think that with 40-man raiding comes a lot more items and smaller items that might drop off mobs, that might be harvested within the actual raid zone. And specifically, if those nodes are individually structured, you're going to have a lot more items flooding the market. Ultimately, you will then have a lot of items flooding the market, which will be selling for nothing because there won't be enough demand for the amount of items that are going to be there. So it can only destroy the economy, in my mind.
Okay, 1 second here, just getting another question copied. Okay, so let's talk PvP. This will be an interesting one here. Josh, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that would be... I must admit, I have ultimately no say with regards to PvP. I'm not much of a PvPer myself. I can imagine that it'll be pretty much a shit show, ultimately, to have to try and control two raid teams going against one another. but I guess that's where the fun lies. I will concede that this is neither good nor bad at the end of the day, but it's not going to be much of controlling structure.
You know, all I heard there was blah, blah, blah. Again, the opposition didn't have
well aware of how that is.
Anything to say. So I'm going to butt in here now and take your time that you had remaining. So, in regards to PvP, it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely great. Right? It doesn't matter if it's a 40-man raid force going at you or 40 individuals going at you. At the end of the day, PvP is there to have fun, and having these raid forces go at each other is going to be great. It's going to be fun to see, right? Because you can have that third raid force come in and swoop the kill. Knock them all out while they're weak and down and injured. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great for the community. It's going to be a great sight to see when you see like 80 people going at each other and the third group just comes along and just walks past them while they're all basically lying there on the ground. It's going to be a sight to see, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great for the community. It's going to be great for PvP. Let's make PvP amazing again.
We really got to get a Trump pop up for your face or something.
And the raid is going to pay for it.
And the guild will pay for it all. Okay, so here's a question from Grizzly. How many guilds do you think will actually be able to manage a 40-plus man raid with the disposition system in place?
Remind me about the disposition system. Is that the one with...
That's the one where NPCs can have different traits and act accordingly.
All right, that's 20 seconds cut off of your time because you didn't know what the disposition is anymore.
Well, you're starting.
No, we're gonna start with Yarn.
So, at the end of the day, I don't think it's a matter of how many guilds can and should. It shouldn't be set up to where, okay, for a 40-man raid, you can have up to 4 guilds managing this raid. It should be done in the raid window itself, where you have your, you set up your raid team, your raid lead, your raid moderators, etc., whatever you want to do, your group leads, and period, be done with it. There shouldn't be a debate for how many guilds get to manage this. Because it's got nothing to do with the guilds. It's got to do with the quality behind the raid. You need people that know what they're doing. You need people that know how to lead those groups. So that shouldn't be in this debate. That's something the opposition will always try and bring up forward. Something to try and bait us. Yeah, it's a pointless discussion talking about how many guilds should be able to manage a 40-man raid. It's nonsense again.
All right, Josh.
Well, I think that it'll be a disaster again. 40-man raids is just a nightmare to arrange and organize, and ultimately you are going to have a situation where people are going to disagree, agree, and ultimately, stop putting that crap up there, Elon. Okay? You're being a real twat. But ultimately, it's just not going to work because you're going to have people that are going to disagree.
All I hear is
and it's just lousy, so you just throw me off that point.
Aaron, you shut your mouth. His time isn't up yet.
So ultimately, I think that it's just not going to work.
Okay, so let's see what's another system we haven't even touched on yet. Accessibility, which would come into play with casuals versus hardcore players.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with you, Josh.
Okay, accessibility. I think that it will be a lot easier for it to be accessible to players if they where a lot of players could form their own guilds from a very early age, and the entry level to get into raiding will be a lot lower. We've seen this happen before in EverQuest 2, in a lot of games where you try and up the numbers for big raids, and you hardly have anybody raiding at the end of the day, because just 10 people, 15 people end up only being in a guild ultimately. So the lower entry level for people within a guild itself to be able to raid, I'd say the more fun that's going to be had by the communities. And a lot more competition will come out of that ultimately. So a lot more people will know how to raid if they're casuals, and be affected by raiding, and will enjoy it. So yeah.
Okay, Bjorn.
You see again the opposition, talking about how bad it is, how terrible it is, right? And if we look at the success story of EverQuest, that is still going, right? Still going 20 plus years, and it offers raid sizes bigger than 40. World of Warcraft, the most successful MMO out there, has raid fights out there bigger than 40, okay? And they're all successful. All these
How many raids have you done?
You be quiet. All these other
you weren't quiet during his.
Have 24-man and less raids have died or are dying. There's nothing going on. So yes, it will be good for the community. It will be very good. It will be very good to get people access to raiding, because you've got people that can take you along and are willing to help you out. Yeah, and the opposition will always try and tell you different, right? But these games, these great games, EverQuest and World of Warcraft, are still going strong. And why? Because they offer 40+ man raids.
EverQuest 2 is still going as well. And they offer 24 raids.
You're quiet, opposition.
Technically, so does World of Warcraft.
It's dying. It's dying.
The only thing I can say to that is, if you look at the most popular MMORPG on the market, which is World of Warcraft, look at the size of their raids.
Mm-hmm.
Their raids are big.
You got 10 man, you got 24 man.
And you got bigger ones as well.
Only if it's open world, but that's just kind of throw all caution to the wind.
Doesn't matter. Still successful.
It used to be 40 man, but now they reduced it because, hey, they don't have a population to sustain that.
People left the game.
No, they left it before that.
Case. No. You got any proof? Bring proof to the table. Where's your proof? See, the opposition will run its mouth saying, they left the game and but they left before that happened. No, where's the proof? Bring me the numbers, bring me the facts. Where's the facts? Do some fact checking. See, the opposition doesn't do its fact checking.
Dude, wow, players leave before. I'm just Googling it. No, continue.
Okay, so I think we've hit probably the majority of the spectrum here. I got maybe 2 more that are coming to mind. I'll end with one from Texam, but the next one will be creative design for raid encounters. Bjorn, we'll start with you.
It's going to be no different than, doing something for a 24-man raid. You've got to be creative, period. Okay? You have to be creative, period, to get your raid and make it fun. So it doesn't matter if it's designed for 24 people or designed for 40 people. And I think doing it with 40 people or up to 40 people or 40 and more people, you can have various ways to go about this. We know they have dispositions. We know they have static and all kinds of different kinds of encounters. So it's basically going to come down to variance at the end of the day. Options and giving people different means on how to engage the encounters, especially when you've got 40 people out there. It's going to come down to giving us options, and it shouldn't affect the creative team at all. What I've got to say.
Okay. Josh.
Right, so we've seen this before. We've seen blood, sweat and tears from these developers pouring their hearts and souls into creating these massive raid encounters. And what happens ultimately with these huge 70-man raid teams? They just zerg the mob. It doesn't matter what they've created. And these mobs can't even get their first set of spells off or their first fireball off before they're dead. and months and months of prep by these developers is just basically in the toilet, because you got people zerging these type of mobs ultimately. With more control and smaller actual raid teams, that means that these guys can really be creative and be focused as to what they need to do at the end of the day. And they can then plan encounters properly towards making things great again. Don't even listen to the opposition.
Again, so the negative, right? And he can't even get his numbers right. We're talking about 40-man raids here, not 70-man raids. You know, that's the typical opposition. They haven't got a clue what they're talking about. As soon as they've lost track and they've lost the battle...
Moderator. Right? He mentioned 70 right at the beginning, so I'm using his argument
right? We're talking about 40.
Technically, it's 40 plus.
It doesn't matter, right? That's typical technicality. That's all the opposition can, pull it down to is technicalities.
Well, next topic here. Okay, next topic, then we'll go to closing statements, and then I'll leave it up to the viewers to who won, because I have a poll ready to go. How would you propose the balance between casual versus hardcore raiding? Is there even a way to balance if you're going to do 40 plus man raids? Josh?
I don't think there is a way to balance it, ultimately. I think that the power structure at the end of the day, when you get over a certain amount of players, is just going to be too great for any system. I think that your casuals mixed with hardcore are just going to dominate anything. It doesn't matter what kind of a structure you have in place. So for me, the power curve will just dominate any type of mob that is created, in my mind.
Yeah. Lux also comes up with a very good point as well. The more people you have in a raid, the less significance each player has.
Yeah. And the drop of items at the end of the day, ultimately, is just going to be a lottery, and people will get very frustrated not getting items after the 5th, 6th, 7th raid they go through, and not picking up one item that they can theoretically put on their characters.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Yep. Yarn, your go.
That's, again, the opposition talking a load of rubbish here. All we heard all night was whinging, right? Nothing actually brought to the table affecting. It doesn't make any difference. You have people out there that lead. You have people out there that have power. That's how the world works. Period. Deal with it. Okay? These questions must have come from the liberals on the left, right, to the far left, who have absolutely no clue. Socialism doesn't work. Okay? You can't appease and plead everybody. It's just that simple. It cannot be done. Okay? Power is there to be taken, and that is how it should be done. Right? The stronger will survive. Period. Deal with it. This is a challenging game. This is a game that is designed for challenge. If you can't deal with that challenge, then don't play it. All right?
Trying to stay awake.
It's that simple.
I can't help but laugh every time. It's like, we need big raids because socialism sucks.
I'm trying to keep it serious.
I'm freaking dying. Oh crap! Oh my god! It seems like every freaking time you're out, it's like, we need bigger raids. Socialism sucks. Socialism. Right. Well, that last one kind of covered the closing statements as well. I'm going to throw a poll up here, and you guys can all decide who won. We'll give it a couple minutes.
I'll put up a 3-man counter.
Yeah.
A 3-minute counter. There we go.
So vote away, people. Who won this debate? Was it Yarnilla for? Was it Joshua against? We'll see. The votes are coming in. Well, they're coming in pretty fast, too. Good job, people. Wow. Yeah, them bars is moving. Wow.
I think we should have prepped this.
Maybe. It's still fun.
That's the comical side of it, right?
Well, see, that's the thing, though. When you don't get a chance to prep, you really have to think hard, and you got to think on your feet.
Yeah, you do.
Fresh. You know, who's a dummy now?
It's not easy.
You know, who's a dummy now? It keeps your mind fresh. It keeps your mind fresh.
Oh. Well, that's the thing, though. I mean, if you look at all of our past shows, you know, a lot of our tangents are just thinking on our feet. Hell, half of our shows are thinking on our feet. So...
Exactly.
A little disappointed that I got made moderator because I was ready to fucking... sorry, bleep, bleepity bleep. I was ready to tear Yarn a new hole.
I think, you know, you wouldn't have been able to.
Oh, no, because I would have came everything from client performance, preventing people from even playing the game, costing them subscriptions.
Yeah,
to I'll give you...
See, that's typical.
I was light on you.
Exactly. You know,
I was light
come out
on
the
you.
shadows of other people because he can't think on his feet.
I think I'll still crush you ultimately.
I don't know, man. It's not looking good for you, Yarn.
I don't care. That's because it's socialist. The socialism's out there.
YouTube sucks. It's full of socialists.
Hey, and it didn't look good for the other fella, did it? As everybody was saying, and he still matched on in one.
Well, see, that's the thing. Where you were supposed to try to dissuade the viewers.
Listen, yeah, I welcome all the illegals. Just come through, please.
No green card, no problem. Vote for Josh.
Voting for me. Please vote for me.
Just about 20 seconds left, folks. If you haven't voted...
Free subscriptions.
Credit, how dare you. Oh, God. Now, you know what would have made this better, though?
What?
Alcohol.
I agree. A shot every time. Oh, yeah.
Topic. It's like topic economy. Fuck you!
Socialism doesn't work!
Only because I'm not social. Okay, time's up. We have the winner by 43% of the votes. Joshu.
Yeah!
And with a close second, Lexer always wins with another 43%.
Why are you in that? Hey!
Because Lexer always wins.
That's it. This is.
But you know what? You know what? You didn't vote. You didn't vote.
The Russians hacked the show. The Russians hacked the poll.
You didn't even vote for yourself, because then you would have saw that.
I shouldn't have been in the vote. Well, I shouldn't. You know, we shouldn't get the vote.
When you're running for office, you can vote for yourself.
It doesn't matter. I don't need to do that. I don't need to vote for myself.
Apparently, you do.
I believe in the people that they will see the light.
Well, Josh is handing out shades, so I don't think so.
My Russian friends, thank you very much.
I'd like to thank Jesus.
Jesus. And I would like to.
It's always one of those tough things when you're on a side you don't want to be on. But that's the great thing about it, right? Trying to actually
think of arguments
that you hate and turn it into the good.
Well, that's part of the problem. Like, if someone were to put me, if the whole topic was paladins and I was on the proposition side, I'd have to do everything in my power to fight for pro-paladin, because that's just how it's done. And no matter how every fiber of my being is fighting against it, I still have to be for them.
That is true.
The VoT will rule a 40-man raid with Yarn. He'll make it a breeze according to the stream. Because Paladin's on... Okay, now I know text drunk. Oh, God.
That was good, actually. That was a lot of fun.
That was.
Yeah.
I do.
Despite not having a lot of time to prepare for this, and you know, obviously we wanted to do a lot more. That will be happening.
It wasn't fun for the audience.
Maybe what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a poll for like proactively for the next debate show. So at the end of the whatever show is the week before, we toss up a poll, be like this, choose a topic, and then
prep, do a bit of prep work maybe.
Yeah, and I'm assuming like these won't be like week after week after week kind of thing. So it'll be like, okay, here's the topic. We have time to prepare for either side.
Right, you see, we say no, it won't be week after week after week. The VoT
and then
in 2 weeks' time we'll know what to do, and we'll do a debate show because we run out of ideas anyway.
Oh, let's see, what are we on? Like almost 180 shows. We ran out of ideas. What, 160 shows ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, Texans discussion.
Meanwhile, VR is praising other people that are just echoing what we've said
years ago. Yeah, exactly.
God,
absolute rubbish.
Oops, I shouldn't have said that. People are going to be angry now.
Oh my
what?
word.
That there's a snitch. There's a snitch in the.
No.
What?
Nope.
Was I not meant to say that?
Nope.
Sorry.
Nope. There's a hole in the boat.
Sorry.
That was good. That was fun. Did I enjoy my role? No.
See, Grizzly came up with a really good topic.
What's
Grizzly,
that?
you should have voted because we had it in the Discord and we had it on Twitter. You know, basically, which is the best race.
Yeah.
That would have been a really good one.
Which is the best race? There's no debate on that. It's a dartmere.
Please.
No, never play a race that you can find on a McDonald's Happy Menu.
That is excellent. Excellent.
Says the star that's on every cat food frickin' box.
Oh, that now after they destroyed the damn race.
That's good. That is good.
If I find it on a menu at McDonald's, I ain't playing it.
Right? Okay.
Exactly.
Get mistaken for a mat.
I probably would have went with walking rock garden.
We come with our own natural vests, our glow in the dark vests. Thank you very much. We light the way.
And see, here's the thing. I mean, you could come up with something like that for every single race. It's like, why wouldn't you play? No, do you really want to be playing a character who's, you turn off the lights and all you hear is wah, 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 wah.
Exactly. Who's a walking battery, basically.
Yep.
You can plug it into his butthole and his
what's the best
power
race?
Actually, we got a chat here, so we can ask chat now who watched this first show what they thought about it.
People hate it.
What you guys would like to see differently? Would you like us to take this a lot more seriously? Would you like us to prepare for these debates? You know, we could.
Drunk.
Oh yeah, drunk debates are always going to be good.
Drunk debates are all good.
Well, here's what you do.
I'm a non-drinking person. I don't drink alcohol.
Well, we'll fix that. We'll fix that pretty fast.
And trying to sway me into drinking, it's not going to happen.
I don't know. I think I can persuade you.
Anyway, next week's show we'll be sitting down with Booch from the community, introducing him to the broader audience. We'll be joined by Micah next week as well.
Yep, there will be a very big announcement next week too, so don't miss it.
Don't miss that one next week. And then let's have a look. When do we do our 4-year anniversary? Is going to be on the 14th this year. 14th of March is our 4 years. 4 years of the VoT show. 4 years of the VoT guys talking crap, nonsense, rubbish for 2 hours plus, wasting 2 hours plus of your life for 4 years. Oh my word. I feel sorry for everybody watching.
Grizzly,
to be paid.
Grizzly, I remember this. I remember the Scar back when they were creative and interesting.
Oh, here we go again. All right, enough of the whining. That's a good show, right? Then we'll have to do that one. Debate show, the new Scar models, and lectures on the pro side.
I'll fix the bot someday. Swear to God.
Anyway.
Sorry, Tech.
We hope you enjoyed this show. We'll be doing a lot more of these in the future. It won't be like Lex has already said. It won't be every other week or something like that. We will basically need time to prepare for these to get this.
These are mostly for a good laugh.
Well,
good laugh with the community.
Exactly. To bring some entertainment.
Maybe they'll supplement the game nights.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I totally agree with you.
Until we can actually find a frickin' game we're all comfortable and are able to agree on. Alright.
7 days to die.
Yep. So that
7 days to die. So you might
that way I can literally kill you guys and bury you in a desert.
No, you can't, because that's not the rules. That's not how we play it.
Will be when I play.
We don't play it like that, Lex. We work together.
Right.
Sure. If
Anyway.
by work together I mean break your legs and leave you as bait, yeah, we're on the same side.
So, we'll be playing 7 days. Yes, Vicious. You heard it here.
Yep.
Yes, Vicious, but we're not going to cheat.
Yeah, we're not cheating, dude.
It's not cheating if I stand at a door and watch my friends get eaten, right? Or lock the door.
Me and Josh played it the other night. It was a lot of fun.
Good fun, yeah.
Hiding in the basement.
I
will say though,
through the floor.
I played it a little bit yesterday. Nighttime is freaky.
Right,
it is, right?
Right. So on Josh's screen, it was pitch black. And I tried my damnedest, all my settings, man. We both shared the screens. I showed him mine. Because why? What are you talking about? You can't see me. I could see as far as God knows what, and it doesn't matter what I did. So I've got to check that out and figure out why that is. Because I definitely liked what Josh had for a view. It was you couldn't see anything, dude.
Just turn your camera down a little bit.
Anyway. We'll see you all next week when we sit down with Booch, and Micah will be there, like Lex has already said. We have a big announcement next week. It's nothing bad. So before you start,
the sky is falling.
Yep, the sky is falling, and all that stuff. It's not bad news. It's sad but necessary but good.
Okay, stop giving it away now.
Yeah.
Let's just talk
What the
about
hell?
next week.
It's great news. It's bad news.
Yeah.
Anyway, take care,
I can't
everyone.
freaking wait.
Until next week.